What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Canelo and Benavidez in the building again. I said in the building again, like I'm a damn party promoter or something. But we got them in the news. Well, more so Benavidez manager Samson Lipowitz, you know his name. Anyways, he was recently doing an interview with Fight Hype. Shout out to Fight Hype. And speaking on the whole fact of, him and Canelo and what they're trying to do, why they're trying to pursue a fight with Canelo and everything like that. Now, Edgar Berlanga just recently came out and stated that him and Canelo would do over 1.5 million pay-per-view buys, which is a whole lot of BS. But you know what? Instead of me talking about it, I'm gonna let you guys hear it, and then I give my opinion on it, because I disagree with that wholeheartedly. But let you guys hear it, and then we'll talk about it.
So we take this away. Let's say that doesn't count. That Canelo Berlanga, he would sell $1.5 million, but I guarantee you that Benavidez and Canelo, he will sell over 1.5.
That's ironic. That story about Berlanga saying it'll sell 1.5 million. I was the one that actually wrote that story. So that's that's ironic. So do you think?
So you mean that you agree with me, correct? That is impossible.
1.5? Yeah, I don't think it'll do 1.5 with Berlanga. I don't think so. I don't think so. So that means you think Canelo versus Benavidez will do even better than Ryan versus Tank. They did about 1.2, 1.3.
Yes, and I tell you why. Everybody knows the Tank, my amigo, he will beat him. Now people say that Benavidez will beat Canelo, but it's not so easy, and everybody understands that it's not an easy fight for either one.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's definitely talk about it for a second, man. First and foremost, man, Edgar Berlanga versus Canelo Alvarez will not hit no 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. As a matter of fact, I don't even think Edgar Berlanga versus Canelo Alvarez does 1 million pay-per-view buys. All right, let's be honest. And I get it. The first thing I understand people are going to say was the Mexican versus Puerto Rican rivalry, and that is a huge rivalry. But I think right now, I don't think that Edgar Berlanga even has the following in order to justify him doing 1.5 million pay-per-view buys against Canelo, and it takes two to tango. It takes two to have a successful pay-per-view event. As evidence, Tank Davis has a humongous following or whatnot, especially with the hip hop culture and everything like that. But we all know that Tank Davis needed Ryan Garcia, and vice versa. I don't want it to put it like on Ryan, because Ryan's not going to do 1.2 or 1.3 million pay-per-view buys with anybody outside of Tank. So they needed each other. It takes two to make a successful pay-per-view event. However, Edgar Berlanga I'll put it like this: he's not big enough to say that he's a pay-per-view draw, because the man is still fighting in the Madison Square Garden. Not the big room, but the room the theater. That's what I'm trying to say. He's still fighting in the Madison Square Garden theater. So in order for you can't sit there and say that he'll be he's a big star, and he hasn't even fought in Madison Square like Miguel Cotto, or like how Floyd Mayweather likes to say, Miguel Cotto has fought in the actual Madison Square Garden, like the actual the big room or whatnot. So I think it's too soon, and plus, like I said, Edgar Berlanga he hasn't even fought anybody. I continue to say that, and that's why I'll continue to push for Benavidez, because it doesn't look like Canelo and Bivol are gonna agree to a fight. It looks like more so Canelo is going to, it looks like they're gonna go their separate ways, because Bivol, Bivol is not happy. I was wondering if I stated Bivol or Benavidez earlier, but anyways, Bivol is not happy with the split, and rightfully so. It's not fair. You trying to make Bivol take $5 million without pay-per-view proceeds and the same exact split, and you're fighting for his belt again. And he's the champion like he was in the first fight. Well, but they were both champions, but they were fighting for Canelo's belt at 175. So Benavidez belt at 175. So, the thing is, I don't really see Canelo and Bivol fighting. That's my whole point of staying there. So, who else is there for him to fight? I mean, he can fight Demetrius Andrade, but again, for years he's just not been interested in fighting Demetrius Andrade for whatever reason. And that's the crazy part about it, because I always thought that Canelo would beat Demetrius Andrade. That was my opinion. But for whatever reason, Canelo Alvarez just has not been interested in fighting him at 54, 60, and 68. So it looks like if it ain't gonna be Benavidez, right? He just fought John Ryder, which a fight that nobody really wanted to see. So if it's not gonna be Benavidez, if it's not gonna be if it's not gonna be Demetrius Andrade, it's not gonna be Bivol. The only option for it that would make sense is for him to fight Benavidez or at least Jamal Charlo. Now he can fight anybody he wants, but Jamal Charlo wouldn't even be a good look because the man ain't been competing in over 2 years. On June 18th or 19th, it'll be 2 years. So you're telling me so right now, even though we were asking for that fight, but everything is about timing. Everything is about timing. So to me, it only makes sense for him to fight David Benavidez. Now, how big would that fight be? That fight be huge. I think that fight will be very huge. I think that David Benavidez has earned his shot at Canelo. That's a fight that we didn't get to see when Canelo was going on a campaign for Undisputed. No fault of Canelo, but that's a fight that we didn't get to see. And I think that that's a fight that should happen. I think that, just think about it, 2 Hispanics, right? And we all know Mexicans are gonna support their fighters. Like that's the thing I love about Mexicans, bro. Like they support their fight. They support their people, and they're gonna support that. They can literally, I kid you not, Canelo versus Benavidez could be. They can have that at the AT&T Stadium. Now I don't know how tight Canelo is with Jerry Jones, but like Errol Spence is or whatnot. But they could host that at the AT&T Stadium, and I guarantee you, it'll see at least 50,000 people will come support and watch that. I guarantee it, bro. And I'm also willing to guarantee that if Canelo versus Benavidez, if they fight, I can assure you that will at least, it would do anywhere from 800,000 pay-per-view buys to 1.1 million pay-per-view buys. I guarantee. I think that it will hit. I think it has a very high chance of them hitting the $1 million mark, the $1 million pay-per-view buys. I think so. So I'm more than sure, and I believe that Canelo should go ahead. It just makes sense business-wise and legacy-wise. And then why not shut the whole fans up? It's like, bro, if he's not, Canelo stated that Benavidez hasn't fought anybody or done anything, right? So, bro, if that's the case, then that should be easy cake for you, bro. Go ahead and beat him. And so you beat him, you get another undefeated fighter on your already Hall of Fame resume. Go ahead and beat him, put him on your resume. And then also you shut the crowd out. Like, bro, if you beat Benavidez, bro, nobody can argue. If Canelo fights and beat Benavidez, bro, seriously, nobody can argue about Canelo fighting anybody else, bro. Like, literally, if Canelo wants to fight Shakalaka Lukalaka from Hashakan, bro, nobody can say anything because, bro, this man has literally did everything that we've asked aside from, Demetrius Andrade. But, at this particular time, like, bro, Demetrius Andrade doesn't, really have the resume to kind of stack up, against Canelo at this point. But at the end of the day, if Canelo, and we all feel like David Benavidez is more of a threat to Canelo than Demetrius Andrade. And for people that are always like, well, man, you guys always want Canelo to fight this guy, bro. He, like you guys love to say, he is the face of boxing. So of course, this is the standards that are held to people that are the face of boxing. That's just point blank and period. That's just how it goes. So with that being said, like, nah, man, like I think that Canelo and David Benavidez, definitely that's a fight that needs to be made next. And it makes all the sense in the world. And I think it does successfully business-wise and legacy-wise. There ain't too much that Canelo can do for Benavidez' legacy. That Benavidez can do for Canelo's legacy. But still, it's a fight that should be made, all right? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?